Hello, my name is Nick Ballone, and I am currently a sophomore accounting major at St. Bonaventure University. Picture this: you're at college with your friends, and you want something to eat for dinner. You go to the dining hall, and you see there's absolutely nothing to eat, or you're just sick of the same dining hall food. You are on a tight budget, and you do not want fast food such as McDonald's or Burger King. What do you do? Another scenario is you and your friends are leaving the bar, and you're all starving. You notice there's nowhere to eat open at 2 a.m. within walking distance. What do you do? The idea of the Italian food truck comes in. Street food has been a part of American dining for hundreds of years. There are currently about 3 million food trucks in America today. According to the infographic, U.S. food truck revenue grew to nearly $630 million in 2011. And according to the National League of Cities, these revenues are expected to increase to roughly 2.7 billion in revenue over the next 5 years. The top 3 food truck entrees are sandwiches, Mexican food such as burritos, fajitas, and foods such as burgers, hot dogs, and french fries. One thing that kind of was peculiar to me was the fact that there wasn't really any outstanding Italian food trucks when in America that's one of the staples to American eating is Italian food. And another interesting fact I found was the average price of a food truck entree is $6.33, which is really appealing to the college student who is usually on a budget. Remember, I've had a passion for food, specifically Italian food. My grandparents came to this country in 1974. My grandfather worked as a butcher for a few years and saved up enough money to start his own Italian restaurant in Rochester, New York. I've been helping out at this restaurant in every way possible. I would answer phone calls, take customer orders, prepare food in the kitchen, and anything I could do to help the business, I would. As far as food, my grandfather had everything from homemade pasta with sauce, subs, wings, and a variety of homemade desserts. I would help with the preparation of food, and this is where I started to grow my passion for food and cooking. My grandfather's brother also has his own restaurant, but his is more of a fine dining Italian restaurant. He was head chef for 10 years at a fine dining Italian restaurant in Rochester, New York called Agatina's. When he eventually saved up enough money and with the support of his family, he was able to open his own Italian restaurant called Papa Joe's. I have not helped and been around this business as much as my grandfather's, but I was still able to gain some experience in a fine dining setting. I would also help with big catering orders at both my grandparents' place and my uncle's. By doing this, it taught me a lot about making food in large quantities, yet still keeping the same great quality you need to keep customers coming back to you. The customer segment is basically college students who are sick of eating the same dining hall food. I have talked to numerous amount of college students during the time of my research, and I was basically getting the same feedback from all of them in regard to the terrible food they've been eating, along with how much they're sick of the same food and do not want to eat McDonald's and Burger King all the time. One interview I had, the student said, "The dining hall here is awful. There are times I will come for dinner and I will leave hungry because I have not eaten anything. I wish there was an alternative option for food on campus." In another interview I had with a student, the student said, "The food in the dining hall is absolutely atrocious. I would not feed this food to my dog." One more interview I had, the student discussed how they were fed up with the same dining hall food and did not want to keep going to the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, the Wendy's, and eating all this unhealthy fried food, but at the same time, they didn't have the money to go out and spend $10+ on a meal. And to me, this opened the idea that there's opportunity to have a food truck in the college market. So this Italian college food truck would solve many problems. First of all, the first problem that I noticed, and really the most important one, was the lack of good food. Knowing my grandparents' recipes, along with my uncles, they have been in business for years and have had many people talk about how good the food is, some saying it's the best food that they've had. I am confident that the food on the truck would be quality and the students would enjoy it. The second problem my food truck would address would be the cost of the food. Some of the interviews I had with students mentioned how they do not have the money to spend $10+ on a meal, and my food truck would solve that. With the average meal on my truck planning to be between $5 and $7 per meal, that is a very affordable cost for the food they will be receiving. The third problem I will be addressing is the freshness and the quality of the food. The food produced on the truck would be fresh, along with healthy options to pair with some of the typical hearty Italian meals such as pasta with homemade sauce. So, a minimum viable product that would appeal to an early adopter would be a small startup food truck at a college or university. The truck would include a few different items such as pasta with sauce and meatballs, garlic bread, chicken parm, and a few other popular Italian dishes. One advantage that I would have would be the potential to let students use their flex dollars given by the university or even be able to charge their student bill. For example, I am on the club baseball team here at St. Bonaventure, and when we did apparel orders for things such as sweatshirts and athletic clothing, I was hesitant to purchase any because I knew I did not have a lot of money to spend. But when I found out that I could charge the apparel to my student bill, I ended up getting way more items, a few more items than I would had I had to pay up front for the apparel. Being able to charge students to their student bill or use their flex dollars, I feel that I would get a lot more volume of students to try the food truck because they know their parents will pay for it or they can worry about paying at a later date. I would have the food truck be located either at the school or in front of one of the bars at the school. So I could either have it be on campus during the day at lunchtime, dinner time, or even at 2, 3 in the morning, and so that kids after the bar have another option. In conclusion, I feel that with the experience I have in the field and being a college student myself, this food truck could be a great success. I hope that you judges are as confident as I am in my idea.